Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I've got an interesting video for you today. We're going to review a Cyansky headlamp. This is model HS6R. Now, when Cyansky asked me if I was interested in doing this review, my answer was yes. I've done a couple of reviews for them already, and their products have proven themselves to be very, very good. So without hesitation, I said absolutely. Now, the current price point of this headlamp at the time of me filming this video is around $75. You're going to see that this thing is fantastic. So let me go ahead and start by looking at the back here. This is the technical parameters of the headlamp. So if there's any information that you want to hang on to, make sure that you pause your screen. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So as you can see, it has a maximum output of 1400 lumens. There's 170 meters of throw and 7200 on the candela. You'll notice once I open this light up that there's two different switches. One of them is for spotlight and the other one is for floodlight. I've never seen a headlamp that does spot and flood in the same light. So we're going to pull this all out just like so. There's nothing left in the box. So we'll just set that aside and let's go ahead and take a look and see what all we have here. You can see that the light comes packaged very well. And right off the bat, you can see that there's a USB cable. So you got USB type A to USB type C. So this is your charging cable for the headlamp. I think it's very nice that they include an extra switch cover and an extra O-ring. Next thing we see is the owner's manual itself. So again, feel free to hit that pause button if there's anything that you want to hang on to or take a little longer time to read. A little list of the features of this flashlight, or headlamp I should say. Operating instructions, and this is a very simple headlamp to operate. I've played with it a little bit already off camera and I'm very impressed. It's a nice headlamp. There's the discharging curve, and right there some attention, some warranty information, and then right here this is the last page. Now let's take a first look at the light itself. You can see that there is a tag here. This tag basically telling us to charge the headlamp before we play with the headlamp. I've already done that prior to filming this video. Now as you can see, the head strap is very thick, very nice head strap. This has potential to be a very comfortable light on the head. That's about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches tall. Most headlamp straps are about 3/4 to 1 inch. So this is a very nice strap that they've included with this light. On the top of the light here, you can see there's the charge port cover, and you can also see the USB-C charging port. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a second. Let's go ahead and unscrew this side switch here, or this side cap. You can see the construction of that is very nice. They have the insulation film right there, so you got to take that out before you can use the light. And you can see that the light comes with a standard 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable battery operating at 2600 milliamp hour. So it's a very basic battery. There's the positive and there's the negative. The good thing about this battery is in the event that the battery fails or anything like that and you need a replacement, you can probably put an aftermarket one in there. It's not a proprietary battery. Another cool thing about this light is it can also operate on dual CR123s or a single 18650. Now if you look at the aluminum battery housing tube there, you can see that the material is very thick, so very nice. On the front of the light you have a couple different LEDs. You've got one for flood and one for spot. These side LEDs are for red, and then on the top of the light you can see a stainless steel switch. This turns on one, and then this also is known as the main switch. So this is going to turn on the spotlight, this is going to turn on the floodlight. So very cool. Now you can rotate this light on this headband here, so you can get any kind of orientation that you want. So it's very cool. Now when you talk about the spotlight, which is this LED right here by my thumb, that gives you a 150-degree view. And if you look at the floodlight, that's going to give you 80-degree view. And the floodlight is this top switch, and again the spotlight is this side switch. Now let's go ahead and take a look and see what it looks like to charge. You're going to get two different colors when it comes to charging. You're going to get an illumination of red, and then when charging is complete, this illumination will turn from red to green. It takes about 3 hours to charge this light from start to finish if the battery is fully dead. Now again, I did charge this prior to doing this video, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug at this point. To turn the light on, regardless of which button you use, you're just going to push and hold that button for about half a second. You can see that the light comes on. And this is the floodlight, so this is the top switch, and you're looking at low right now. Low is 30 lumens. That will last 60 hours or 2.5 days. It gives you 18 meters of throw with a candela of 80. If you single press the button, you'll go up to the next mode. This is medium, 150 lumens. This will last 14 hours. That's a very good beam. 14 hours of runtime, 35 meters of throw, and 300 on the candela. Single press again takes us up to high. This is 500 lumens, and you can see it's a very floody beam. That'll last 3 hours of runtime. Fantastic. 63 meters of throw on this setting and 1006 on the candela. Push it again, you'll get into red. This is 10 lumens. This will last 60 hours or 2.5 days. Gives you 10 meters of throw and a candela rating of 24. Now if I push it again, we're going to get a flashing red. It's also 10 lumens, and this is where you double your runtime. You get 120 hours out of this setting. That's about 5 days of runtime. You get 10 meters of throw, and you get a candela rating of 24. Now again, a long press turns the light off. And now if we go to the side switch and we long press for half a second, you'll see that this other LED comes on. Now this is going to be the spotlight, so it's going to be a nice tight pattern. Again, we're dealing with low of 30 lumens. This lasts 60 hours or 2.5 days, and you'll get 28 meters of throw out of this and 186 on the candela. Single press goes up to medium, 150 lumens for 14 hours. You can see the difference in the tight hot spot there. It's very nice beam pattern. 60 meters of throw, 908 on the candela. Push it again, we go to high. This is 500 lumens for 3 hours. 110 meters of throw and 3010 on the candela. Push it one more time and we're going to get turbo of 1200 lumens for 2 hours of runtime. This is the max brightness of this light. 170 meters of throw. Candela rating is 7200. That's an impressive candela rating. Now a single press will cycle back down through the modes. As you can see, we're on low. This light does have a memory, so if I push and hold, turn the light off, and then I push and hold, turn the light back on, it will come back on to the last mode accessed. And that's whether you're using the side switch or the top switch. Now one thing that's really cool about this light is you can use both LEDs simultaneously. So if you want a mixed beam of flood and spot, you want to light up a whole gamut of area, you can do that with this light. In fact, you can cycle through the modes and leave that other one on white light or whatever you wish to do. Now you can see that those red LEDs are flashing. If I push and hold, remember this light has a memory. So you see that it came right back to the last mode accessed. So for example, if I want this LED on, let's say medium for example, when I push and hold and turn off, and then I push and hold and come back on, look at that. It comes right back to that previously used setting. So very cool. Another thing that I want to make note of is whether you're using the side switch or the top switch, the run times are the same and the lumen levels are the same. The only difference is the top switch does not have a turbo. It just has low, medium, high, red, and red flashing. But low, medium, and high has the exact same lumen levels and run times as the side switch. Now this light, let me talk about some of the specs of this light. It's impact resistant down to 2 meters. This is a very tough light. You can see that it's built like a tank. It's a little bit heavy, but it's not cumbersome heavy. I love that big head strap. I think that's going to help compensate for the weight of the light. This is IPX8 waterproof down to 2 meters. If you want to talk about the size, it's 85 millimeters long, 40 millimeters high, and 36 millimeters wide. The weight of the light without the battery is 118 grams. If you want to throw the battery in there, it's 160 grams. Now you got 2 different LEDs, obviously, actually 3 different LEDs, and I'll talk about that. So if you're looking at the side switch or the main button right here, this is your spotlight. That's a LUMINUS SST 40 LED. Now if you're going to use the top button and get to the floodlight, that is a LUMINUS SST 20. Now the red lights on the side, that's an Everlight 2835 LED. Now again, the battery, I talked about that a minute ago. It's a standard 18650, and the operating voltage of this light will allow you to use an 18650 or dual CR123s. This light has overheat protection. It's got independent switches like I showed, so you can do that independently or you can do them simultaneously. So very cool. You can have both lights on at the same time as I showed just a second ago. This material is aluminum. It's 6061 T6 aluminum, and it has type 3 hard anodizing on it. Fantastic light. This is grade 10 super impact resistant lenses. Very, very nice. It does have a low voltage warning, and speaking of warnings, it also has a power level indicator. If I push this side switch for just a second, you see that green indicator? It also works if I just push the top switch for a second. The green indicator tells us that the battery life is above 80%. If your battery life is between 50 and 80%, you'll get a green indicator that flashes. And if your battery life is between 20 and 50%, you will get a red indicator. Now if you see flashing red indicator, that's telling you that your battery life is below 20%. Again, this is USB-C charging, like I showed earlier, about 3 hours to charge. The light does have a memory. And this next section is very, very interesting. The working temperature of the light is 30 degrees centigrade to 50 degrees centigrade. If you want to talk about Fahrenheit, that's 86 degrees Fahrenheit on the low side and 122 degrees Fahrenheit on the high side. So me living here in Arizona, I'm going to have no problem with the working temperature spectrum of what this light offers. Now this storage temperature is even more impressive. So we're starting with 35 degrees Celsius, which is 95 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to 65 degrees Celsius or 149 degrees Fahrenheit. That is fantastic. I like this light. I want to say thank you to Cyansky right off the bat for sending this light out for review. Their products are continuing to impress me. I like this company. They're up and coming, and they are definitely on par with a lot of the major flashlight or headlamp manufacturers out there. Okay, let's make sure that charge port cover is in place, and let's check the IPX8 waterproof standard. So as you can see, I turn on the floodlight. Let's drop it in the water. Get that thing nice and wet. And then if we cycle through the modes, you can see that that light is working just fine. Go to the lowest setting, long press to turn it off. And let's dunk it again. Let it sit under there. No problems. Very nice light. I like this thing a lot. Push the side switch and hold it. The light will come on. And then now let's cycle through the modes using the spotlight. Boy, that's bright. This light does not have an SOS or a strobe function, but this is fantastic. I love that it has red, and I love the memory of the light. And furthermore, I love that you can do simultaneous light, so you can have flood and spot at the same time. That's the first time I've ever seen a headlamp that offers that you can do both. That is fantastic. So as you can see, it clearly passed the IPX8 waterproof standard with flying colors. Okay, we are on the spotlight, so I'm using the side switch. This is low. This is 30 lumens for 60 hours or 2.5 days. That's a fantastic amount of light. 28 meters of throw. Bump it up. That's medium of 150 lumens. 14 hours of runtime. That's a lot of light. 60 meters of throw. There is high, 500 lumens for 3 hours. That's a respectable amount of light. 110 meters of throw. Now let's take a look at turbo. Turbo is 1200 lumens. It's going to last for 2 hours. It's going to give us 170 meters of throw and 7200 candela. Now I'm going to put it back to low right there, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And now I will use the top switch. This is the floody beam. Okay, so this is going to give me low of 30 lumens, and you can see it's a different pattern. It's not as tight, but it lights up a lot more. 30 lumens for 60 hours or 2.5 days, 18 meters of throw. Now we're dealing with medium. You can see that it lights up everything. 150 lumens for 14 hours. That's crazy. 35 meters of throw. There is high, 500 lumens. Fantastic. It's going to last 3 hours. 63 meters of throw. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the red. This is 10 lumens for 60 hours. It's 2.5 days. You want to preserve your night vision. This is the setting for that. 2.5 days, 10 meters of output here. So 10 meters of throw. Now let's try one more press and we'll get to that flashing red. Now this is the one that will last a long time. This is 10 lumens, 120 hours. That's 5 days, 10 meters of throw. If your car breaks down or something like that, this is definitely a good setting to turn that light onto. And again, a single press brings it right back up to low. So I have both beams on. I got flood and throw simultaneously. That is just crazy. That is a lot of light coming out of this headlamp. So hopefully you guys are enjoying those night shots. This is a fantastic light. Look at all that flood there now. I turned the main beam off and it's nothing but flood. Let me turn the main beam back on. You see we get that nice tight hot spot in the middle. It's crazy. That is so neat how that works. Well folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video of the Cyansky HS6R Headlamp. I love this thing. It's built like a tank. This thing is definitely good for somebody who's going to be out working, out in the weather. You don't want to worry about if it's waterproof or not. You want to just grab something that's solid, that's going to have impressive run times. I think this is a good headlamp for you. And with all that being said, folks, please make sure that you're checking the description box down below in this video. I'll put links to where you can find this. And until next time, thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.